What is going on, Juju Gang? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yash is back. The channel is back. Live streams are back. I know it's been a while. We got a lot to catch up on. Tesla related, non-Tesla related, channel related. I hope everyone's doing well. Apologies for being 3 minutes late here. Honestly, I was just getting all my crap together. As you guys know, I'm wearing my Sitting on Tesla hat. I hope everyone's doing well. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from in the city, state, country in the chat. But I guess first let me know if the audio's okay. I don't even know if I've worked this thing right. How's it going, Lester? Lancaster, Pennsylvania in the house. Ryan, how's it going? RC, how's it going? Cypress Hill, good evening to you too as well. I'm guessing European family in the house. Johnny, how's it going from Minnesota? Very nice, DRK. Good to see you. Yes, hit the like if you want to do me if you don't want to do me a favor. I don't ask for much. I've been away from YouTube for about a couple weeks now. The algorithm needs a boost. And if you want to do that, it doesn't cost you a penny. You can hit the like. You can hit the subscribe. Yes, 254.47 sitting on Tesla. Very nice, Lenny. Yes, so, okay. So the story here is I scheduled this for 10:30 originally. Okay, let me put this music down a little bit. I scheduled this for about 10:30 Pacific time. Nick from Investing Against the Grain shot me a message and said, Yash, football's on. Do this before. And I said, you know what? That's a very good point. I don't watch football, so I really have no idea. And so I said, screw it. Bill O'Reilly, let's do it live. I pushed it to half an hour. Like, he messaged me at 8:27 Pacific time. I was like, 9 o'clock, let's do it. And hopefully that works for you guys as well. I know it's probably catching some people off guard that are watching on replay. By the way, if you're watching on replay, let me know. Audio's good. Appreciate that. Awesome. Mimi, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, she's back. Happy Power Hour, everyone. Yes, I am back in action. I could talk a little bit more about my vacation towards the end of the stream, so I don't bore everyone about it. Sanju, how's it going? Good to see you. Karsten from Denmark. Very nice. Atlanta. There we go. Compton, California. Ireland. Paka, how's it going? Love from South Africa. There we go. Manish, how's it going? Awesome. Good to hear, Ryan. Last night in Ireland. Oh, very nice, Martin. Where are you heading off to now? New York? Yes, hit the like. Nick, how's it going? Shout out to Nick. There he is. Go follow him as well on his channel. Great Tesla content as well. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. Hi from Portugal. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, folks. The comments take a second for me to populate up here. We got a lot to talk about, right? So since I've last spoken to you, Tesla has been an interesting stock. First of all, I'm just gonna say, following Tesla from Europe the time zone is not fun. Okay. Just gonna say that right now. If there's one thing I didn't like about being in Europe is I literally felt out of the loop. And maybe that's just because I'm not used to the time zone, and everyone that lives there obviously is watching from there. But I felt like by the time I had something to say, aka when I woke up, the news was stale. At nighttime, I had no energy to follow the news as it was breaking late night because I was tired. So for me, it was just a little bit tough to really follow the news cycle as I was gone. And to be fair, that probably wasn't my goal anyways, to go all the way there and to be catching up on news on the daily, right? So totally fine. But what has happened to the stock in the meantime? And I've put in Tesla here. Let's check the last month. So in the last month, Tesla is down 8.5%. By the way, there was a infamous person who said Lucid would outperform Tesla. Lucid is down 13% in the same time. Apple is up 2.2%, and the NASDAQ is down about 1.5% in that time period. In the last 5 days, Tesla is red, 1.5%. Meanwhile, Apple, Lucid, and NASDAQ are all up, Lucid being the most at 3.2%. So as we sit here and we're talking about Tesla, I think the best way to describe Tesla is just kind of doldrums, right? Doldrums. September 15th, a month ago exactly. Actually, if I take off, let me just pull up Tesla singularly. Hold on one second. So following Tesla singularly, Tesla was at 274 exactly a month ago. We're sitting at 250 now. I mean, we're down a little bit, but who cares, right? It is what it is. It's kind of a big fat nothing burger as it kind of stands. So where is Tesla headed from here? As you guys know, Wednesday, October 18th is earnings. The channel will be live. I will be on it for a portion of the lunch hour. And then the stream will continue on with the likes of Farzad, Nicholas here in the chat, Tesla Bruba Mama, and a few other people. Let me just take a sip of coffee. I hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. By the way, that's another thing Europe's kind of ruined for me, is coffee. I just want to drink espressos. That is it. That is it. Okay, anyways, enough of the pish-poshiness for me. Okay, so earnings this Wednesday, right? Everyone and their mom is looking at earnings as kind of the next big catalyst, right? And my big prediction for earnings is less so about gross margin, which we're going to talk about, less so about EPS, which we're going to talk about. Here's my big prediction for earnings, okay? The Cybertruck launch date will be announced this earnings. That's my bold prediction. Is it even bold? I don't even know. Maybe that's not even bold. But as you guys know, my prediction my prediction for Cybertruck launch date is October 27th. So the last Friday of October in about 2 weeks. So we'll see. Maybe that's pushing it, but I still think a date happens this earnings. And for one big reason, if you guys remember when Giga Austin was about to get announced, everyone and their mom kind of knew Austin had been picked, but Tesla didn't make it official until the earnings call. And it was like the first sentence of that Q2 2020 earnings, if I remember. So I think this earnings call, we get a specific date for the launch for the Cybertruck. It's momentous. Earnings, I don't see a better place to schedule that than earnings. Everyone is listening to it. Rather than putting out a press release on a random morning about Cybertruck, make it the first sentence of your earnings. We are delivering our first Cybertruck this date of this year. Sanju agrees with me. By the way, I'm hoping this stream can be a little bit more interactive. At a point, I'll throw in the link to jump. Actually, I'll throw it in now. If you're on your phone, you can still come on, ask questions, debate, whatever you want. But I want it to be a little bit more interactive. I'll throw it in here because I want to debate a little bit about advertising. And Tesla ads is going to be a section of our stream moving up here. But we can jump the gun. Okay. Yes, I love the earnings calls. Yes, I do as well, Mimi. Thank you. Yes, the earnings calls have really good energy. Everyone's together. It's good debate all around. Cybersale says, scary thought, macro will crash Tesla once again like the end of last year. Here's what I have to say about this. We're halfway through October. I'm not saying correlation equals causation, but who remembers what happened right here? If you're not watching my screen on audio, I'm pointing at October. Oh wait, hold on. Actually, it was both Octobers, wasn't it? No, hold on. Yeah, October 2021. Tom Brady came out with the Hertz deal. It was October the 15th, actually, right in the middle of October, where we saw that huge spike. And this is, of course, post-split numbers for Tesla from 280 all the way to all-time highs around 407 post-split. So I'm not saying correlation equals causation, but things can turn fast, and especially when it comes to October. There's something about October that Tesla loves. I don't know what it is. October, November, Tesla stock loves it. Sanjay says, could we see a Q1 delivery date? I'm guessing talking about Cybertruck for accounting purposes like they did with the Model Y. I think if you're starting to pick the date based on accounting, you're losing the forest for the trees a little bit. I don't think they really care about that as much. And again, because whatever date you set, it's not like the whole accounting fiscal quarter gets reset based on cost. Like you're only gonna recognize as much revenue, recognize as much cost, or depreciate whatever you need based on the amount that you deliver. So I don't think it really makes a difference very much. Personally. By the way, let me know if you disagree with that. Yeah, and obviously it's a good data point on October, November. Look, I'm not saying correlation equals causation, but my mind, in the back of my mind, I have this as it is interesting. And I guess if you look at October of last year, it wasn't so hot. Well, October was from $300-ish post split to 223. To end of October was 200. So, yeah. I guess last year wasn't good, but last year, I guess you could chalk it up to an anomaly. Bonjour tout le monde. Vern, how's it going? With the little French. Yes, I was speaking French in France. You know how it is. I was speaking as one of those broken English American folks. Let's see here. Sean, how's it going? What did Nick say? Hold on. Nick says, Cybertruck announcement will blunt any bad earnings news Yes, and you know what it is. Okay, and I guess hold on, that was my Tesla stock analysis. Okay, I didn't even put up the header yet. That was my Tesla stock analysis. But this gets into, and I guess we can get right into the debate here about Tesla advertising. This is the big topic of. It seems like it comes up every 2 weeks, and to be fair, I am someone that's soaking the fire a little bit when it comes to Twitter and X and posting about advertising. I do it often. Now, there's a huge divide, it feels like, in the community with advertising. First thing I want to say is the majority of people that I hear talk about advertising don't know what advertising means. And I say that respectfully. They think ads just mean Super Bowl commercial, random sponsorship with some big company. Like just the perception of ads is not correct. Now, first thing I want to just make clear is Tesla is running advertising. Like, let's just make that clear. It's not like it isn't. And I've proven this before. If you go to Tesla Ads transparency tool that's provided to advertisers, you can search up Tesla Inc. as a company right here based out of the United States, Tesla Inc. And Tesla is running search ads. So look at these ads, starting at $31,490, $7,500 federal tax credit. Tesla is running ads, right? So if we look at videos though, and traditionally speaking, when people think advertising, they think videos. Tesla is not running any video advertising. And that is the big thing that everyone wants it to see. As it stands, Tesla's only running text-based search campaigns. That is it. That's all. So should Tesla run more advertising? That's a debate we can have. And I quite think it's and the reason why I bring this up is, how's it going, Kyle? The reason why I bring it up is there's a CNBC article posted today about Gary Black from Tim Mullaney titled, "As Tesla price cuts concede billions in sales, investors push Elon Musk to finally spend on ads." So two things can be true. They're already spending money on ads, yes. And Elon has already said that they're going to run advertising. Okay, so points. The EV maker rarely, if ever, spends on ads, but slowing unit growth and price cuts to bolster vehicle sales is unsettling to some investors. As you guys know, in the last couple of weeks, I haven't been able to say, but of course, Tesla price cuts have happened yet again. It's one of those things now where every couple of weeks, it seems like if you're a buyer of a Tesla car, why not just wait? Oh, my phone is going off. Hold on one sec. Turn this crap off. Hold on. Why not just wait, right? No offense. If you're in the market for a vehicle, a Model 3, I have a friend like this right now. He's telling me, Yash, what is the point? What's the point of me buying the Model 3 when in probably 3 weeks I get another $1,500 off or I get another promotion? So it disincentivizes people to jump the gun and go and buy in, right? Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Thank you. Marco, how's it going, man? Marco, our lovely mod. So the price cuts in particular may have shaved billions of dollars off Tesla's revenue this year. Now, this line doesn't really make sense because, of course, I'm here for the argument that Tesla should run ads, but at the same time, you're assuming when you say this line that Tesla would have sold all those cars at the full price. So it's a bit disingenuous to me. GM, Ford, and other automakers collectively spend more than $20 billion on major media campaigns annually. So here is the big cahoots. The people that are on the Tesla community saying Tesla should run ads are not the same people, in my humble opinion, on the legacy media marketing side that are secretly pushing for this narrative as well, so to bump their revenue. Look, CNBC, the main way they make money is based on marketing, right? Advertising, sponsorships. That's how they make money. Those people are here to say the same exact things that I'm talking about, but they're different. What I'm saying is Tesla should run YouTube video campaigns, should run remarketing campaigns all over Google's platforms, Facebook platforms. I know Elon probably is going to shudder at the thought of running Facebook ads and Instagram ads, right? But these people here are saying on CNBC in particular, and the person that they cite in this is none other than Mr. Gary Black, qualifies as a big supporter of electric vehicle giant Tesla. The Chicago fund manager has Tesla's number 1 or 2 holdings since he's opened his fund. These people that are writing these articles are also saying run ads, but what they're saying is a little bit different. Hear me out. What they're saying is, why don't you give CNBC some money? Why don't you run some TV commercials? I'm in favor of running performance-based marketing ads, ads that you can directly measure ROI based off of. And that only happens based on online advertising. When you talk about TV commercials, you can't measure performance based on that, right? I mean, you could do lift studies where, we ran this ad and this is the lift, this is the marginal lift that we saw. You could do studies like that. But when you talk about direct performance-based advertising, specifically YouTube, I think YouTube, if I had to hone down on the 80-20 of what I think Tesla should run ads on, it's YouTube ads. Tesla should make, and Tesla already has made, we saw that Korean airport recently have a Tesla video sponsored on it. Run that as YouTube advertising across YouTube, around Google's YouTube platform, right? Run advertising based on charging. Yesterday I was at a coffee shop. I was sitting down. This family behind me, these two moms were talking, and I didn't catch much. But what I caught out of the conversation was, she was like, "Hey, how do you charge the car?" She's like, "Oh, it's quite easy. I just charge it like my phone every night." I was like, "Oh, okay, interesting." And that's all I caught. But I just had that click in my head where I was like, this was an ad. Like, it's crazy that people don't think about their car in the same way. So who's to say that Tesla should be the one, I guess, spotting the entire industry? But look, Tesla is the industry when it comes to EVs, right? Like when you think about EVs, you don't think about the Chevy Bolt, right? You don't think about the Nissan Leaf. God, you don't think about the Lucid. Even Lucid's not thinking about Lucid, okay? Lucid's at the point now where they don't even want to talk about how many cars they've delivered, right? Elon tweeted that he's had more kids in Q2 than Lucid has delivered cars. So Tesla is the leader in electric vehicles. They should be the one pioneering and pushing for education in the space. And with that, and with the microphone being in Tesla's hand, I think the market is better served that way. Any questions, any comments? Feel free to come on in the stream as well. Here, I will pin, if I can find it, I will pin the message, the link to jump on. If you want to jump on the stream, ask a question, call into the show. 9:21 on a beautiful Sunday morning. I hope everyone, Pacific time, I hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. That's my bit on Tesla ads. And someone, I forget who on Twitter, someone told me, hold on, I really got to take a glass of water here. I got riled up talking about Tesla advertising. What a world that we live in. Average millennial investor says, should do a Spotify ad. I work out and always hear ads. Short Spotify ads hitting their major pain points would be good. Great source of placement right there. Right now, to be fair, I don't think Spotify ads are as effective as running stuff on the Google and Facebook network, or Meta network, I should say. But that's a great suggestion, because look, you can measure performance based on that. How many people have clicked on that ad? The people that have clicked on that ad, how many of them went on to buy a Tesla in the next year? These are the studies that you can run, and I run when it comes to marketing on a daily basis. And of course, Tesla has the money to do it, and they don't have to spend a lot of money. Because remember, they haven't even done bottom of funnel remarketing campaigns. Marcus says, a friend of mine said today, children of today don't care about Ferrari. They have posters of Teslas. No ads needed for the next generation of car buyers. Great point on the Ferrari thing. I totally agree. I will still pass by some random block at some point with kids playing, and they'll all point and say it's a Tesla. So I actually don't understand how that's possible still, considering how prevalent, how prevalent Teslas are in Vancouver. But every time not every time, but every time it happens, I'm just a little bit flabbergasted that it does happen. Let me move my fat head up a little bit. Matt says, okay, try this. Tesla spends $10 billion on advertising. What happens? $10 billion is quite a lot. Let's start with $100 million in advertising. Here's what I think would happen. Tesla would spend $10 million on advertising. They would measure directly how many clicks they got, how much of an engagement off of those clicks they got on their website, how many email addresses did they collect, and then they can run a study based on 1 year, come back a year from today and say, out of all of, and they can do this on a trailing basis, out of all the leads that we got, out of all of the advertising that we got, how many of those people turned out to be customers in a year from today? And they can run simple analysis saying it costs us on average $1,100 to acquire a new customer for us. And of course, when we talk about brand marketing, there's a little bit of cannibalization there. I don't need to get into the marketing analysis of this, but they can measure this down on a pretty analytical basis and say, it costs us $1,200 to acquire a new customer. And then you just run the math and you say, okay, do we lower prices by $2,000 or do we spend $1,200 to acquire a new customer for this car? And what does that cost curve look like? What does that demand curve look like? Michael, let's go on. Question: does Tesla sell every car they manufacture? If yes, no need for mainstream ads. The product is that. But here's the problem with that argument, Michael. Tesla has been lowering prices massively. And the reason why, undoubtedly, is because they need more buyers, right? So yes, Tesla is at this rate where they can manufacture cars like gangbusters. They're scaling, new factories are coming online. But for them to have this, and this is definitely the internal dialogue that's happening at Tesla, is, look, we're scaling really well. We don't want to slow down. So if we can't find buyers as fast as we need to for all the cars that we're scaling, the easiest thing we can do is lower prices to make sure that nothing stops us from scaling. And I think for the record, I do think that's a good business strategy in the long run. In the next 2 or 3 years, when interest rate comes back down, the economy looks a little bit better, Tesla will be the only car manufacturer running at scale, the only EV manufacturer even close. And so you don't want to sacrifice the velocity that you're building these cars, because if you sacrifice the velocity that you're building these cars at, then of course, to jump back up to that level takes a lot of fixed costs. And of course, efficiencies. And there's just a lot of learnings that have to re-happen. But if you're already operating there, you continue to operate there, you have this massive level of efficiency that you can get. And so when Tesla looks at their current scale and they go, man, I don't think we can find a buyer for this car right away, they have to lower prices. So it's just true. If Tesla could sell every car they're selling today at 2021 prices, trust me, they would. They would. They're not jumping the gun to say, let's lower prices so this buyer that's already ready to buy can get a discount. No, they're lowering prices because they need to find that next buyer, right? But of course, nothing's wrong with lowering prices. But I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to have a level-headed argument here and say, look, advertising doesn't mean take the current pool of prospective buyers in a market and start bombarding them. Advertising to me means increasing the pool of eligible buyers. That person today that doesn't know anything about EVs or might have misinformation already thrown at them, that's the person I want to bring into the pool of prospective buyers in the next 3 to 5 years. And that's what I think advertising solves, is increasing the pool of eligible buyers in the next 3 to 5 years. It's not about converting the existing pool of buyers just so you can have a transaction in the next year, although there's a degree of that. I think increasing the pool by educating the masses and saying, look, this is how you charge. Look, this is why you don't have to actually worry about your battery size. I had this argument actually with someone not too long ago. We're having this argument about, he's like, I'm not buying an electric car until it gets like 800 kilometers of range, something stupid. And I was like, are you an idiot? I was like, why would you wait for that? First of all, it's never going to happen. Second of all, tell me your use case that you're going to need 800 kilometers. He's like, well, every now and then I'll drive for like 7 hours straight. I'm like, great. Who cares? If you drive, and how many days a year you're driving like that? And he's like, maybe every like 5 years I'll go on 1 or 2 of these road trips. I'm like, look, man, you're not buying a car for your 0.01% edge case scenario. And plus, what Tesla has in terms of, let's say, lowered range, which by the way, their range is more than satisfactory. It's what you want them to make up with their supercharging network. If you know that you can drive as fast as you want, you can get to supercharging within 10 minutes, you can go from 20 to 80% with the V4 chargers. You don't need that extra, you don't need to lug around this extra 300 kilometers of range for 5 years so you can use it one time. So anyways, my point being is that these debates, I'm just getting sick of a little bit. And I think a mass marketing campaign to educate people on EVs would go a long way. Exactly. Mary. Okay, so DRK makes a good point, right? The lower the price, the more people in that bracket, which increases the total addressable market, since most buyers have to finance. Cost matters each month. Great point. Demand elasticity with price. Yes, I am not denying this. What I'm arguing for is an increasing of the demand curve, right? I'm increasing, and of course, in a perfect market, here are the assumptions that are made in that assertion. The market is perfect. Everyone has perfect information in that market. Here's what I'm arguing. The market is not perfect, and people not only don't have perfect information, they have misinformation. So my argument on that basis, I think holds, because I'm not trying to say, and I agree, if the market was perfect, everyone knew what I knew, knew what you knew about EVs, price would be all that matters. And of course, there's a degree of, if you lower prices enough, people will start to do their own research anyways and start to try to convince themselves, because at the end of the day, price is all that matters to a lot of people. But there is a pool of people out there that I'm trying to make an argument for that have not only not perfect information, non-perfect information, they have misinformation. And how do you convert those people and put them into the pool of eligible buyers? I don't think cost is the biggest thing for the people to have misinformation about something. No offense. If I thought something was very hazardous to me, I don't think I'd really care about the cost of something at that point, right? If I knew aspartame was terribly bad for me, which it isn't, but let's just use this as an example. I don't care if the cookies are half the cost. I'm not buying the aspartame ones. Stupid example, right? So my point being is that let's increase the total addressable market by educating the masses. And of course, in the long haul, is that going to happen anyways? Probably. But I'm just saying we can speed up that information campaign. Catching up on the comments here. Great debate here today, folks. Hit subscribe, hit like if you're new here. 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Maybe I'll keep this time. I actually don't mind this time to go live in the morning. Trauma, how's it going? Juju Gang member. Tesla should hire AC/DC for the Cybertruck ads and events. GM can run with Devo. What if the first person... Okay, wrong answers only. Let's do a segment. Wrong answers only. Who should be the first person to drive the Cybertruck publicly? Wrong answers only. I'm going to say Tom Brady. Is that a wrong answer only? Maybe it's a right answer only. Yeah, there you go. And I actually think I know what podcast episode you're referring to here, Nicholas, but Joe Rogan is probably the one about all the cobalt mining, I'm guessing. So who should be the first person to drive the Cybertruck? Wrong answers only. Trevor Milton. Lenny, great answer. Maybe he says me. Maybe that's I think that's a correct answer. Joe Biden. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, no, I'm not going to play this drop right now. But Joe Biden, actually, can you imagine that? Cybertruck is launched. Earnings happens this Wednesday. Elon says Cybertruck first deliveries October 27th, and it's to none other than Mr. Joe Biden. And you just see Joe on autopilot on the highway. He's just asleep at the wheel, and the Cybertruck is driving. Okay. Okay, Kanye West. Arnold. Hey, I guess you did ask for wrong answers only. A lot of Bidens. Mary Barra. Jojo Siwa. Swift. Okay, if Taylor Swift ever got caught driving, game over. Talk about Tesla advertising. The Swifties would be all over the Teslas. Dano Downer? Yes, maybe. Chuck Norris? Buttigieg? He who shall not be named. He did purchase the first Hummer. Really? Did I not know that? Jim Farley? How about Chris Farley? Rest in peace. Um, um, AOC? AOC, I can actually see that happening though. That's the thing. You guys joke about Joe Biden a lot about him being the first person, but I actually can see it happening. And I actually think it would be the ultimate form of we live in a simulation. 100% see it happening. Okay, enough about Tesla advertising, I guess. Let's watch this Tesla short on CNBC. It's funny because every now and then you watch CNBC and you go, oh yeah, they 100% hate Tesla. So check this out. I was watching this clip and he talks about, this is Dan Niles talking about his stocks he's short on, right? Let's see what he has to say about the mega caps. I've skipped ahead to the Tesla section.
I think looking at tech stocks,
let me know if the audio's
okay. They have, you're asking for a lot between now and year end, because remember the Magnificent Seven are up 96% on average year to date.
So he's talking about the Magnificent Seven in the NASDAQ, of course, Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, blah, 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 Microsoft, Facebook, these companies that have essentially dragged the entire index up to a point where it's positive and super bullish. But he's talking about how he's short two specific stocks. The first one, of course, being Apple.
Equal weighted S&P is flat. So I think it's going to be hard, especially with the valuations where they are for the overall market, which is above normal by, say, 10 to 15%. And for a lot of these names that are driving that overvaluation, to ask them to pull it much higher. And I think you're going to really have to pick stocks. You can't just buy a basket of all seven and expect them to work.
What's the other short, Dan? You said Apple. You're thinking about shorting three. You're short Apple, and then you're only long.
He's smiling. You know that he's like, damn, I wish this guy didn't ask me this.
Two. What's the other short?
It's Tesla, because we just think that with auto financing rates as high as they are, and with they've got a pretty high bar to clear going into Q4. At the same time, you've got consumer running out of money in terms of excess savings, and then you've got student loans restarting. We think there's a lot of headwinds in the stock. It's done great this year, and it's got pretty high valuation, and I don't like companies where numbers have got to go down.
Just remind me, what were the two you're long, and you're thinking about shorting the other three? What were the two that you're long? NVIDIA and
We're long Google and NVIDIA because we think those are the two we feel confident they're beat and raise quarters coming. But remember, even with NVIDIA, and this is a warning sign, right? They beat estimates by 21% for July, raised the next quarter, October, by 27%. The stock's down 4% from the day before they did that. So you're going to have to put up really good numbers if you're these other companies that don't have the growth that NVIDIA has to be able to see these stocks work. And that's why we're in consumer staple stocks right now and Russell 2000 stocks. Those are what we're counting on more, which gives you a little bit of defense as well. And we saw that with Pepsi this morning, right? They're the fourth largest weighting in our consumer staples basket. I think you're going to see, that's what I want to be in between now and year end, especially with the geopolitical risk.
So there's a lot of folks still on Wall Street that are extremely short Tesla. And actually, this reports to this comment right here from Matt quite well. Thanks, Matt. Yash, have you caught this on Twitter? Breaking: SEC adopts a rule to increase transparency in short selling, where short sellers are forced to report deals within 15 minutes. Now, I didn't catch the 15-minute part. I did see this, but I thought it said that they have to report it by the end of the month or quarter or something delayed like that. But I'm not sure if someone might have to fact check on the 15-minute section. But the SEC is going out and all of a sudden now realizing, hey, maybe we should do something about this freaking short and distort campaigns that happen all across CNBC, all across Wall Street, all across all these hedge funds, and all across social media platforms out there, right? Remember, shorts are a different breed altogether. So, and okay, yeah, end of month, saw that too. So, okay, yes, thank you. Perfect. Thanks for fact checking that on the fly. So, end of the month. Now, look, it's a step in the right direction, right? It is something that I think needs to happen at the end of the day, because shorts, it's disgusting what short and distort campaigns can do for companies, but it's not going to fix the issue. It's not going to fix the issue, especially if you put it at the end of the month. Danny, appreciate the super chat, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Now, when it comes to the SEC and short selling, you can see here Dan Niles, infamous Tesla hater usually. He talks about how he short Tesla. Now, it's true that the Magnificent Seven are the ones dragging up the NASDAQ this year, right? No doubt about that. But I think the reason for that is because it paints to the high quality of those stocks out of the rest. The reason why they outperform is because everyone looks at the rest of the stocks and they go, blah, they kind of are sort of lame. And they look at the seven, they go, okay, these ones are actually the cream of the crop. And that's what's been rising. So on one side, you can make the argument, oh, if it wasn't for these stocks, the NASDAQ would be minus 20% year to date or something disgusting. But that defeats the whole purpose. I mean, the whole point of having these stocks in your index is because you benefit when they do well. Unusual wares reported 15 minutes. I'm going to have to look into this. If, let me see if on Twitter. Hold on here. If someone can tweet at me, unusual. Let me pull it up. I find Twitter or X search is not amazing either. Let's see here. Too many tweets. Too many tweets for me to go through. I'll have to take a look at this after. Okay. So anyways, that goes to the short campaign. Let's talk about Tesla earnings though, coming up. Now, let's see here. Back on Gary Black. Let me just try to make this a little bit more appealing. Hold on one sec. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let me turn off this chat. There we go. Okay. Tesla earnings next Wednesday, this Wednesday. Q3 auto gross margin X regulatory credits will be the key metric. I think Martin, I flagged a comment here from Martin right here. Yash, what do you think is the most important question that should be asked on the conference call? In my opinion, and this is just me off the top of my head, not really thinking about this too hard. One of the big questions I think that should be highlighted is the path to increased operating margin for Tesla with software. Like, what is the actual granular plan? Of course, we know it's FSD, it's robotaxi long term, but what is that plan, and what does that plan look like in the next 1 to 3 years? What's that stepping stone amount of time that investors can look at operating leverage as something that starts to uptick again? Because of course, price cuts are continue to happen. I think everyone thinks they might even happen again this year. I'd be a betting man and say yes, probably at some point again, will be cut, even by a little bit. So what is that path to operating margin going back up granularly? And this is an example of an answer I think someone in Tesla IR could give. Something like, look, in the next 1 to 3 years, we see FSD robotaxi getting launched in 1 to 4 cities in America. We can see this sort of unit economic dollar amount, this type of percentage revenue share or licensing share to Tesla. And we project, this happening within the next year. And then from there, we can start modeling something out. Because of course, Elon is betting that, hey, if we keep production going at the scale it's going, in 5 years' time, we're going to want as many cars running robotaxis. But I just want to know a little bit more about that story in terms of the stepping stone, right? Posted the link in the chat. It might have got flagged. I think links are a little bit iffy on YouTube. Let me see here. Let's see. Hey, Michael, how's it going from Frankfurt? Very nice. Drive safe. I don't see the link, but that's fine. Or do you mean on Discord you posted it? Which I don't see it as well. No worries. It's fine. All good. Yeah, links get flagged all the time. That's the issue. Let's see here. Okay. Anyways. Tyler, how's it going? What do you guys think? I really hope for all of us that these questions are good. So often questions are unfortunately meaningless. I can actually pull up, say, technologies, Tesla. I can pull up what the questions look like right now for Tesla, for Tesla's earnings call. Let's go through that. It's a great segue for us. Let me just pull this in. Let me move my fat head. Okay. Tesla earnings call ranked by most shares voted. Number 1. Let's go through this and try to predict answers together, shall we? Number 1, how many Cybertruck deliveries do you anticipate for 2024? I mean, I'm very surprised this is the top question. How many they're going to say, between, it's tough for us to say depending on when we launch. We're looking at something close to the semi event, but again, mass volume is going to be 2024, 2025. I don't even think they're going to give a number. Probably going to say sub 200 or something like that. Like, I just don't see the upside to this question. All respect to someone who asked this, but I don't know. Number 2 ranked question from our retail investors. When do you expect Model 3 Highline to be available in the US? Okay. I don't really know what that does as an investor, more as a customer. No offense. Number 3, can you provide progress upgrade on the 4680 cell? Okay. Particularly progress towards performance improvements and cost savings outlined on Battery Day. Thank you. To be fair, I think Drew Beglino kind of answered this last earnings call, if I remember correctly. And also, I think the dry battery electrode process would be a more specific question to ask. I'm very surprised that this is the top third, or this is the third top question. Don't know how much we're going to get into this. Institutional top rank question. Could you please provide an update on 1, capacity and expansion plans for companies' factories in Berlin and Austin? And number 2, the opening schedule of Gigafactory Mexico. Okay, fair enough. These are kind of 2 in 1. The Giga Mexico looks like it's delayed, right? Until a few more years down the line, it seems like. So I guess, expansion plans for Berlin and Austin would be interesting to hear about. Why was the price dropped on FSD if it's getting better and robotaxi expected so soon? This is a good question, in my opinion. I don't think... Okay, let me know if you guys don't like this question. I'm not saying this because I asked it. But I was flabbergasted when FSD price went down. Why, when Elon has been saying for forever, as FSD gets better, price of FSD is only going up. It's only going up until it reaches the asymptotic level of where it's worth, wherever it's worth $100,000. And then all of a sudden we saw a price cut for FSD. It was kind of ridiculous. And there was no backing to it. Hey, we needed more data. That's why we cut prices. We needed uptick on take rate with our new Dojo learning going on, because it's too expensive. Sure, but just think about it this way, Uriel, right? If you're an FSD buyer from last year and you paid in cash for FSD 18 grand, and Elon has been saying since the beginning of time, FSD is only going to get more expensive, so you're better off locking it in now. And then all of a sudden price went down. I mean, the price going down for your car is one thing, because you can't really expect your car to appreciate like it had been. But Elon had been saying since the beginning of time that FSD is going to only go up in price. And I guess, yes, and Matt's saying, it's like you said, they're getting data on the price decrease in software. Fair enough. And Dojo is hungry. I get that. But that just doesn't, I mean, in that case, why not expand FSD subscription to Canada? Why not expand it everywhere? FSD subscription, as Canadians, I know I'm barking about it a lot, but as Canadians, Elon, if you're listening, we're still waiting for FSD subscription up here. So if the goal is more data, lower the price of the monthly. I bet you anything, if the price of the monthly goes down from $200, $300 down to $100 a month, uptick would go, a take rate for FSD would double. Whereas if you drop the price of FSD by $3 or $4 grand, you still have to pay outright for it. So I think if the goal was increasing data, just make FSD subscription plan $99 a month. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. $500 for FSD for everyone in the Juju gang. Agreed. Hit subscribe and you get $500. If you hit subscribe and if you hit like, I guarantee that you will get FSD for $500. It's just a Juju gang guarantee. I don't believe the regulatory stuff either. Yeah, Damien's saying as well, Lenny. I don't think so, because FSD is already here. Like, I kind of get backlash when I tweet about this, but it's not like FSD doesn't exist in Canada. FSD exists in Canada. FSD beta exists in Canada. What doesn't exist is the monthly package for FSD in Canada. And that's what I've been barking about to get. Thank you, Hillary. Increase monthly to 500, drop FSD 10K. I think people have a hard time dropping 10, 15, 20,000 Canadian dollars unless they're really lumping it into their financing of a car. But even then, with interest rates being as high as they are, and just buying that outright. If Tesla's goal was to, look, don't call me a hater, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. If Tesla's goal is to get as much possible data as much data as possible for Dojo, which I agree with, why not decrease monthly FSD costs to $99 a month and increase it to Canada? Yes, actually, that's a great point. Tesla doesn't even need a higher uptake. What am I even saying? Good point. You don't even need more people on FSD. You can run it on shadow mode. Great point. Thank you, Marco. Actually, so bring some facts to this, right? So that argument of Tesla needs more data, that's why they lowered FSD prices, that is kind of a moot point to begin with. So again, I think Tesla with the FSD, again, I don't love this question, but I actually think it's fine. Whatever. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this question, folks. Institutional question. Mercedes is accepting legal liability when it comes to level 3 autonomy driving system. Drive Pilot is active. Is Tesla planning to accept legal liability for FSD, and if so, when? So look, I think Tesla insurance wraps into this question really well. But actually, I'd be very interested to hear their answer on this. They probably just defer to Tesla insurance as being their underwriter. And again, I think that's why Tesla is focusing on insurance so much as well, is because they can underwrite their own robotaxi fleets. So, okay, next institutional top question. Current sell side consensus assumes that Tesla will deliver 2.3 million cars next year, representing a 28% growth versus this year's guidance. Is this growth rate achievable without any mass market launches in 2024? And when does Tesla expect to return to its 50% long-term CAGR? So here's the thing. This is a little bit of a dumb question, because when Tesla has grown, has outperformed the 50% long-term in the trailing X amount of years. So even if it hits 28, even if it hits 20, the CAGR still is above 50. So this question is a big fat nothing burger. The only aspect to this I'd be interested to hear about is achievable without any mass market launches. Look, Tesla Model 3 has gone down so much in price. Tesla Model 3 has gone down so much in price, where that $25,000 car, I mean, come on. Like, if I go to Tesla.com right now and I pretend like I'm an American for a hot second, check out these videos. These are pretty slick. Are these new? It's just been a while since I've been on it. Okay, so check out the Model, no, not the Model X, the Model 3. Okay, I'll pretend I am from, whatever. I'll just, American is fine. Check this out. With probable savings, and of course we could debate about probable savings for a little bit. Oh, hold on. I gotta make this a little bit bigger. Got to, hold on one second. Give me a second here, folks. Okay, there we go. With probable savings, the Model 3 is $28,490. Was that really Gary's question? Is that a lie? Yeah, oh God. Okay, $20,490. Now screw that. Let's put in purchase price. Look, with purchase price, a Model 3 today is $38,990. Right? $38,990. And this is before your federal tax rebate of up to $7,500 in some states and maybe even more. I don't actually know all the states. But if I put in 02134, I think that's Boston. Does it give me rebates? No. What if I did oh, hold on, right here. All Model 3 vehicles currently qualify for a $7,500 tax. And again, this is going to be at the point of sale very soon. Matt says I'm a Canadian. That's the only one I know. Yeah, 90210, of course. But I don't think it comes off the top here. You have to do improbable savings. But still, it's you talk about $25,000 vehicle. I mean, we're at the point now where it's kind of like it is what it is. Like we're there with the Model 3. And by the way, as a Model 3 owner, of course, I hate the depreciation that we've kind of seen here, but who cares, right? So the question for me is, what's happening in Giga Mexico with that new model? Colorado has further subsidies. Do you know what they are? Anyone know? Let's see here. Where's what is Marco saying? Hold on, I'm trying to find Marco's comment. Oh yes, shadow mode. Yes, correct. Uriel says, I would not be surprised to see price increases in the new year. I think this depends on interest rates as well. If interest rates come down to end the year, which they're not, but if they come down at some point next year, it's possible that prices go back up as waiting lists continue. But as it stands, look, you can buy a Model 3 and you can get it this month, right? You can get it this month. Holy crap. Colorado, $7,500 local at least plus $7,500 Fed. Is that real? 15 grand? And then in some states, like what is it New Jersey that you don't pay state tax on for cars, and Washington State is, I don't actually remember. Certain states you don't get. That's nuts. Look, 15K off the top, like it's just nuts. It's 39 minus 15. You're buying a car for 24K plus tax, maybe not. It just, again, it's at a point now where it makes no sense for anyone that's buying a new car not to buy a Tesla. You know, you said that 4 price cuts ago. And this is why the talk of advertising comes in a little bit. Guaranteed, if more people knew about this and the sweet deal that you can get, I think more people would buy it. Matt says, today I learned there are 5 states, Alaska, Delaware, Montana, New Hampshire, and Oregon, that don't pay any sales tax at all when purchasing a car. Is there only... Okay, well, New Jersey, I was wrong then. So it's New Hampshire and Delaware. Okay, Oregon, yes, that makes sense. Tyler, just wait. Almost there with the Cybertruck. If you can wait, maybe a couple... And I think you're one of the early reservation holders as well, right? Don't you have like 1 million reservations or something? So I think you're bound to get your Cybertruck in one of the first lots of people. Almost there. Lots of Massachusetts people travel up to New Hampshire to buy cars for that reason. Okay, gotcha. They ran out of money. I'm in Oregon. Okay, so they ran out of some money. It ended after 3 months this year. Well, look, I guess it's a hot commodity on the West Coast, the best coast. Okay. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think one's all that you really need, right? So, okay, so earnings coming up this week, folks. It's going to be interesting to see. Here's what I expect, though. And actually, Gary highlights it really well in one of his tweets, if I can find it. I won't find it, so give me a second. I'll just go back on the stock. Tesla stock post-earnings doesn't do hot. And the last quarter has been doing very ugly. If you guys look at here where my bar graph is, as you can see, pre-earnings Tesla was at $300 a share. A day after earnings, Tesla closed at $260 a share, down, I don't know, 10%, something like that, more than 10%. The earnings before that, yes, quarter one, earnings of this year, Tesla closing up at 184, the next day closing at 162, down 10+%. The earnings prior, Tesla, when it did run up, only ran up from 140 to 160, really a big fat nothing burger there. I'm just going through some history trends here. Nothing really in the third quarter of last year, summer of last year, really not up. So all in all being said, the bias is still on the downside to a flat to a nothing burger. But I'll ask this question: up, flat, or down post earnings? Leave a comment. And if you want to throw in what percent, that'd be interesting to hear as well. My prediction is going to be, like I just said, negative. And this could be with Cybertruck reservations. And I'm talking about the week ending of this week. I'm not talking the few weeks after, the month after. I'm talking Wednesday's earnings, Thursday, Friday. How does Tesla stock price react? Throw it in the chat. Let me read some out. Derek says down 5%. Uriel says down, hoping to buy more. There you go. Flat. Perfect time for short selling. Yep. Up 10%, says Yusuf. Very nice. Matt with the very honest, I don't know. Down 5%, down 7%, down 4%. I'll read this in a second here. Energy is a wild card for me. You know what the wild card for me this quarter is, Paul? I think the wild card for me this quarter is deferred revenue on FSD. That's the wild card. Do they recognize a large chunk of that and put it onto their bottom line? Because remember, Tesla now has city steering as a part of their ongoing functionality, and every ongoing functionality that they have, they get to recognize a bit more of that deferred revenue. So do they recognize that? And if they do, could that be a one-time big flash in the pan chunk that, hey, all of a sudden, do earnings not look as ugly as they were? What if margins increase? Damien, I do not think that is possible, unfortunately. But if that did happen, maybe I'll have to do some sort of punishment, because I mean, that would be very shocking. I could ship you one, like the beer you sent me. -4%, -3, or down 3, up, says Wolfgang. Down. Ben with the hot take, up 20%. Well, Ben, I'll remember that. Up 6.9%, down 3%. Yeah, look, I mean, anywhere between 1% to 5% down is, I classify that as a nothing burger kind of reaction. Even up 5%, I'd be say kind of nothing, but fair enough. Energy surprise, buying opportunity, deferred revenue. Yes, I think that's one thing that Matt was saying. Energy was doubling, 500 million potentially this quarter, it seems. Well, margins did go up for energy last quarter, I believe, as well. So potentially true. Will Cybertruck even fit on European roads? I haven't seen one in the wild yet on the other than freeways and highways. So I was thinking about this. I was walking the streets of Rome last week, and I had this exact thought. How would the Cybertruck do? And I actually thought, you know what? It wouldn't do as bad as I think I originally thought. There's a lot of Sprinter vans in Europe. The obsession with Sprinter vans in Europe, I don't necessarily understand. Look, I like a Sprinter van as much as the next delivery guy. I'm not a delivery guy. I don't know why I said that, but I love a Sprinter van too. It's nice, comfy. You can put in good seats. It's kind of like a home on wheels, whatever. But I kind of had this thought. I was like, Cybertruck, I've always thought, like, how the hell is it going to work in these like thin alleyways? But you know what? The driving that is done in Europe is crazy. We went to the Amalfi Coast in this big Sprinter van, and the finagling, the wiggling out, the backing up, the people coming at you, the one-way roads. Somehow it works. I don't know how, but it worked. So I originally thought it was going to be way worse. I actually think somehow they would make it work. Somehow they would. Options. Yeah, Al, I'll be happy to. Al says, would you look at the options predictions, please? Let's do that. What are the options markets pricing in when it comes to earnings this quarter or this week? Okay. Thanks for the shout out there, Al. So let's see. An at the money call is currently sitting at $9, $8.50. Let's round up. $8.50. Keep math simple. And at the money put is sitting about $9.50. So about $18 worth, give or take, of premium baked into Tesla options for this week. So $18 off of 251. That's an expected move currently of Tesla of 7.2%. Really not that high. This week, the market makers are pricing in a move up or down of Tesla, a maximum swing of Tesla of 7.2%. The way to look at this is quite simple. I've explained this before, but I'll explain it for everyone that doesn't know about options. A call is a contract to buy 100 shares of Tesla at that date, and a put is to sell 100 shares of Tesla at that strike price, in this case, 250. The way to look at the options market is if you add the premium on the call side and you add it to the put side, you get what we call either a strangle or a straddle, depending on the placement. In this case, it's a straddle. It's both at the money, meaning it's Tesla sitting at 252. I'm looking at the 250, the closest strikes. Now, when you add that together, that's what the market maker is telling you. Hey, I dare you to buy both of these. And if Tesla outperforms what I'm expecting, you'll make money. But I bet you it won't. That's the bet that the options market makers are making with you. So in this case, when I added up, 8.5, 9.5, get to 17, let's say 18, that's how many dollars of an absolute move up or down the market makers are saying that Tesla's going to move this week. Now, this might change tomorrow, but as it sits, that's about an expected move. Just some simple math, about 7.2% on Tesla. So really, the market makers are not pricing in a lot. This probably goes up at some point this week, I think. Yeah. I was walking the streets of Rome last week, eating some mozzarella. Oh, man, I actually loved Rome. I loved Italy. Naples was a little bit sketch, but Naples was still fun. Florence was cool, but we didn't get to explore as much as I thought we did because we went to Cinque Terre. I think my favorite city in Italy probably was Rome, actually. Lots of good food, man. Lots of good food there. Good culture, great weather. But I gotta say, Paris was really fun too. So, anyways, if you guys want to hear more about my trip, I'll talk about it here in a second. The pizzas looked awesome. Oh, should I show you guys quickly the pizzas if you haven't seen them already? I feel like I should, just so you guys don't feel left out. I know I would. I'll quickly show them to you. You guys can follow me on Twitter if you want, @HeyIt'sYashu, or follow me on X, I guess. By the way, you know what's really cool? Running into James. Shout out to James. Avi and I are walking through the Eiffel Tower area, heading back to our hotel, and all of a sudden this guy comes up to us, James, and he says, "Are you hit that bid?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, Juju Gang." I was like, "What? This is nuts." I had like this crazy like moment where I'm in this foreign country, and he's not French, he's actually American, but he's there. Actually, congrats to James. He proposed to his now wife, or his now fiance, I should say. But that was a crazy moment. Shout out to James, and we also got coffee after. But this is the pizza. This is me drinking espresso. By the way, the Italian police in the Vatican had BMW i3s, which I found very interesting. But here's the pizza. I'm telling you, so the pizza in Naples, it's not for everyone, I will say. But the pizza in Naples, this is Pizzeria de Michael. I don't know. This is the home of where the margarita pizza was made, apparently. Okay. Amazing pizza. Great pizza. Not for everyone, I will say. It's a little bit rustic. It's pizza oven made, of course. But man, I could eat one of those pizzas a day. It's amazing. Really good time all over Europe. I think if we had to do it again, I wouldn't do all the touristy Cinque Terre, Amalfi Coast. Like Amalfi Coast was nice, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't, like, unless I'm looking to spend a week, a week at the beach. Can't even talk. I don't know if I would really do it. But Italy was really cool, full of culture. A little bit more sketch in some areas. Like when we were going around, I was like, we got to be careful. And this is here at the Amalfi Coast. Took a little boat ride across. This is also the Amalfi Coast. Yes, this is the Amalfi Coast day that we had. But look, the culture that you get, and I should probably get rid of this banner. The culture that you get in Europe is insane. Again, I'm a stupid I can't even say American because I'm not American, right? Canadian. But I'm a stupid North American that's not used to the same level of culture here. I mean, the oldest thing that we have here is probably the Stanley Cup, okay? And it hasn't come to Canada in like 30 years. So when I go and I look at the Pantheon, or I look at the Coliseum, I'm like, what? What year was this thing? Like, what year was this built? I went to go see the Sphinx in the Louvre. What, 2000 BCE is when this artifact's from? Just insane to me. And I had a really good time. The weather was really nice. Look, there's nothing. And look, I told you guys in the beginning of the stream, coffee is ruined for me. Okay. I'm drinking this thing. And the whole time I'm thinking about this photo. The coffee culture in Italy is unrivaled. Walk in, little doppio, little cafe, get your little cornetto, and you're out of there, right? Quick, easy, in, out. I probably had like 7 espressos a day. I'm back here drinking Americanos like I'm a cool hotshot, but I'm not. No, actually, so I don't have any leaps. I don't think I do. I have to check one of my accounts. But no, just stock. And the reason for that, again, is I said I can't fight the Fed. And I thought I was going to get over that at the beginning. I thought I was going to get over that in the beginning of this year when the Fed eased up a little bit. But I was very wrong on how far I thought the Fed was going to take it. And I think we're probably on the tail end of that now. And I'll probably look into it. Because remember, with leaps, you're going to have a lot of theta decay. And I might actually look at, now that you kind of pinged me about this, maybe I'll start looking at more leaps towards the end of this year. For the end of this year, heading into next year. I still think there's 1 or 2 more data points that we have to get through, namely this Fed FOMC coming up. But I should probably look at that again. This year has just been so busy. I didn't want to manage options on top of everything else. I thought I only drank, no, opposite. I never drink tea. I never really drink tea, ever. Naples is a hotspot for crime. Look, Naples, I'm not going to make fun of Naples, but it really felt, if anyone has been if anyone has been to Hastings in Vancouver, some parts of Naples were very much like that. American goes from Greenland to Chile. I honestly, I was very surprised. I was with Avi, and we're both like looking around. So when he came up to us and he's like, "Hey, are you?" And immediately in my head, I was like, "Oh, he wants us to take a photo of him." He's like, "Are you Yashu? Juju Gang?" And I was like, "What? Insane!" I just had one of those insane moments. And again, if it happens in Canada, America, it's a little bit less surprising. I've been lucky enough to run into people that watch the channel here, but I was in the middle of nowhere with respect to my home, and so I was kind of in the middle of nowhere by the Eiffel Tower. That was a great location to have it. It's espressi. That's not how you say espresso in Italian, is it? Or you pull my leg? Because I've been saying cafe everywhere I go. Like one pizza, two pizza. Oh, plural. Espressi. North America has more than 3 countries. Most people don't know. Yes, that is correct. Awesome. Okay, I will sign off now. An hour and 10 in. I hope everyone had. I'm gonna get rid of this stupid photo of me on the front. I hope everyone has or had an amazing weekend. Have an amazing week ahead. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting the channel. I hope everyone is gonna have a great end of the month. I can't believe we're in the middle of October already. It's actually kind of nuts. Reminder: earnings happening this Wednesday. Mega stream for that. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell for that. We'll be doing a mega live stream with everyone that you can catch on this channel. Any questions, any comments, if you're watching on replay, leave me a comment down below. If you want to join the conversation on Discord, which the conversation hasn't stopped for the last amount of time that I've been away, even when I was away, I was on Discord. Consider joining Patreon at $5 a month, joining the Juju Gang there, or becoming a YouTube member at the investor level or more, and connect your Discord accounts. A lot of people don't connect their Discord accounts. I get it, because they just want to support the channel. They don't really want to go on Discord. But I'm telling you, that perk of Discord is amazing. Amazing community in there. And it's not because it's me, trust me. It's but everyone here in the chat that I see. That's also on Discord. Alrighty. Much love. Thank you everyone for an amazing stream back into action, back into normalcy, shall I say, a little bit. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead. I'll clip portions of this. You can go back and watch any part of this. And hopefully I'll have chapters up soon enough as well. Go back and watch any part of this. Yash signing off. Thank you everyone for your support. Take care. Peace out.